So, as of late, if not in the past several years, I would assume, I'm sure a lot of us that have unemployment or EDD, I'm sure a lot of us have noticed, that there's been a change for the better. And that change is that EDD has now added direct deposit. But the question is why? Well, depending on where you live here in the United States or around the world, and how your unemployment EDD works around your part of the world and your part of the country here in the U.S., the question is, why would they do this? Why would they have this sudden change over the past year or two? Well, I think it's mainly because of the fact of I think it's mainly because of the fact, I'm trying to do this before my mom gets up, I do apologize, but I think it's mainly due to the fact that, a lot of folks have had issues, not just with their checks being mailed, but also with their prepaid card, whether it's the new Money Network card or Bank of America. And the reason they've had issues is mainly because the check will get, lost in the mail or maybe stolen. That's one factor. Or the card, might get stolen if they leave it behind, or someone might hack into it through skimming. So like I said, somebody might, hack into it by, skimming and stuff like that. Not saying that can't happen with bank cards either, but still, you get the idea. Anyway, they've had issues. And one of the other issues with these prepaid cards too, especially the new Money Network ones, is unfortunately, you can't use them at all banks. As I've noted before in my vlogs, for some reason it doesn't like Wells Fargo, but it loves VENMO. So those initially, I think, are the reasons why EDD unemployment, here in the U.S. and around the world, again, it all depends on how your unemployment works in your in your neck of the woods. I think that's why they've had this sudden change, because a lot of people have been having issues. And this is something that honestly a lot of folks have been hoping to happen, and they believe should have happened initially long ago. Basically when we were going through the pandemic and we were having, direct deposits of that stuff given to us and everything, that's when a lot of people feel like, hey, maybe, EDD unemployment, again, depending on how yours works in your state here in the U.S. and around the world, they basically feel that they should have taken that opportunity as well to do direct deposit, to switch everything over to direct deposit and make it easier. But they didn't. They didn't do it until recently because, again, I think all 50 states, and I'm sure many parts of the world, have had complaints about checks being lost or cards being stolen or skimmed. So you can't blame, folks for wanting EDD to change and being happy that they're finally going in this route. Now, the difference, though, is, of course, when you receive your money. So mail by check could take a couple of days, maybe a week, but you're going to get it. You will get it. There's no doubt. Prepaid, depending on when you do it, like when you certify, like for me and my mom, we certify like 5 minutes after midnight going into Sunday. But when you certify, basically, when you do that, that also kind of correlates with the time you'll get it on your prepaid card. Now, for some, they will get it at, 9 p.m. Like for me and my mom, we would get it at 9 p.m. Pacific, which is midnight Eastern time. So basically that's the same for a lot of folks. Or you might get it a little later because, again, it all depends on when you certify. Because the later you certify, the longer it might take. And then, of course, you have the option of transferring it. Now, you can do it electronically, which is fine, but you would have to wait till the middle of Monday, maybe Tuesday, depending, again, when you do it, for your money to be in your bank account. And sometimes you need that money now, so what you'll have to do is go to an ATM and try to get that money out. If you live near a Bank of America, not an issue. If you live next to a VENMO, which loves Money Network, not an issue. Like I said, not an issue. again, because like I said, BMO loves Money Network for some reason, but Money Network don't like Wells Fargo and some other banks like that. But anyway, you would have to do that if you needed your money right away. So, those things play a factor as well. And then, of course, like I said, you got the skimming and all that. So, what do you do? What do you do? Well, you take what people are complaining about, because obviously they do have those little areas, the surveys, and stuff that you can put your complaints in and all that. What do you do when you have people putting into those complimentary things, typing in like, okay, what can we improve on, or calling up or emailing, whatever? What do you think the end result's going to be when most of these people that are doing this are saying, hey, you need direct deposit? What is the one thing you do? What are you going to do? Well, it's simple. You're going to do direct deposit. You're going to add that in. Why it took them so long, we don't know. But I guess enough fraud, as they've reported here in California, has been going on. It was enough to basically say, okay, enough's enough. Let's just do direct deposit, along with the other factors added in as well. But yeah, that's why I think direct deposit has now been added, and it's a long time coming. Mainly because of all the complaints that I talked about. Checks being lost, stolen, cards being stolen, skimmed, whatever. Certain banks, not accepting, the new Money Network card and so on. And, and just a bunch of other stuff. And of course, the fraud situation. It was enough for them to take those complaints that people were giving to them, most of them saying you need direct deposit, to say, okay, we're going to do it. And they did, which I think is great. I think it's really great. So, but yeah, that's a positive. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. What were your thoughts when your unemployment, your EDD here in the U.S. or in your neck of the woods around the world went this route with direct deposit? Were you happy they did it? Were you happy to hear that they're doing it? Let me know. And until then, I'm out.